Before the video starts, I just want to inform you guys that YouTube has actually been setting my video quality to a lower setting. All you have to do to fix this is going up into the settings menu for the actual video itself and turning that resolution up to 1080p. After doing this, you'll then either have to refresh or reload the video and then the problem should be fixed. Now I know this is a bit of a pain in the bum, this is the only way to sort it out at the moment and I'm very, very sorry. With all that said, let's get right into the video. Yo, what is going on guys? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be doing something I've actually been kind of contemplating on doing for quite a while now. Obviously a couple of weeks ago, or it's actually a couple of months ago now, Jesus, this time's going by really, really quickly, I actually made a video talking about the future areas that I could see coming to the Thorpe Resort within the kind of distant near future. Now obviously with the recent announcement of Black Mirror Labyrinth, which is obviously going to be taking place within Old Town, I thought I'd update a couple of things within that video regarding Old Town and kind of making it into a bigger video now that I kind of have more information and more theories about it. So if you guys do go on to enjoy the video, make sure to like, subscribe, anything that makes me know you guys like my content. I'm trying to hit 700 subs by the end of the week. Not really the end of the week, the end of the month, but it's very, very close to the end of the month now, literally about a week. So if you guys want to contribute to that, definitely feel free to subscribe. It would really help me out and I'd much appreciate everyone who's been doing it recently. So with all that said, let's get right into the video. Okay then, so the kind of re-themed topic of Old Town has kind of been floating around for quite a while now. Obviously, since Loggers Leap has closed, a lot of things have been circulating about potentially a new coaster going in its spot, different kind of, theming ideas. However, obviously the most recent attraction has actually been added to Old Town is obviously going to be Black Mirror. Now, obviously this will be taking place within the old Living Nightmare building, pretty much crossing out Living Nightmare forever being in that building ever again, which is sad, but obviously Maze do have to move on. Now, obviously with Black Mirror coming into this, land type thing, if you want to call it a land, obviously it is kind of feels a little bit out of place. Now, I've actually gotten loads of different comments about this recently, or at least on some of my Black Mirror videos covering the attraction. A lot of people have been saying that it's going to kind of ruin the vibe of Old Town. In fact, obviously you're going to have this really futuristic attraction in this really kind of Old West area. Obviously, they're two big contrasts to obviously have. However, I think this could go in a different direction. Now, obviously, if you saw my video from a couple of months back, you will know that I did actually talk about the potential of Old Town either expanding to the more of the Saw area. Obviously, Saw is technically part of Old Town. However, I wouldn't really class it as part of the actual main area of it. Obviously, we'll be talking about that specifically in a little bit. However, there was one thing I didn't actually touch on too properly, and that was a full area re-theme for that main section of Old Town. Now, I did actually kind of mention this a tiny bit, mentioning it could potentially be a futuristic theme. However, now with this brand new Black Mirror attraction being announced and being hopefully opening this year, it kind of leads me to think potentially could this futuristic area actually be a thing soon. Now obviously we've got to consider how big Old Town is. It's a fairly large footprint, as areas kind of go. Obviously you've got the huge space where, Loggers Leap sits. That's a perfect spot for a coaster. However, me personally, I can see them actually building on the island next to Swarm. Obviously that seems like a more likely spot for the next coaster. However, there is lots of potential, like I said, for this to be a re-theme, for a re-theme to come further down the line. Now, if Thorpe Park are actually very serious about keeping Black Mirror and keeping it running, this would actually be quite a wise choice. Now, obviously, that's kind of the thing we haven't really got too much around the UK. It's actually a futuristic area. And I did actually touch upon this in my London Resort video, saying that futuristic area would be quite a big thing. Because, yes, we have attractions that are futuristic, like, say, maybe Galactica and things like that. We don't really have fully blown areas dedicated to a futuristic setting. So, obviously, having Black Mirror in this kind of futuristic area, as well as potentially, a kind of coaster maybe further on down the line, I'm talking years and years at this point, would really fit quite well for the area, I think. And obviously, as you're walking from, Jungle Escape area down through Old Town, there's obviously that kind of city, town feel to, well, Old Town. Now, obviously, a futuristic setting like that could be utilised really well, kind of having it as like a futuristic city. Obviously, they could re-theme things like the Rocky Express. Obviously, they could utilise the spot a lot better. However, there are, like with most things, a lot of pros and cons with this, and that's pretty much what I'm going to be going over now. Okay then, we'll get the kind of bad stuff out of the way first then. Now obviously the cons of this would be, obviously the main kind of thing that would actually be hurt here is obviously Fright Nights. Now obviously Fright Nights at Old Town has been a huge hub for these mazes. Obviously last year we had so many in the Old Town area and vicinity. We obviously had Creek Freak, we had Living Nightmare, Platform 15. All those three were very, very close together. Not to mention Blair Witch, which was literally just down the road past Old Town there, that was obviously there as well. However, losing this kind of, you know, Old Town setting would actually kind of hurt that a little bit. Now, obviously, if this is months down the line, or years down the line, I mean, obviously things like Creek Freak, Platform, you know, Living Nightmare's already gone now. Like, those probably wouldn't really be too affected because those mazes may even be gone by then. Maybe we could see a lot more maze areas kind of spread around the park a little bit, kind of varying it kind of to a different location. But with Living Nightmare kind of knocked off the list already, it's kind of a bit, you know, I'm in an R in whether or not Thorpe do actually have the balls to just make this a futuristic area and just hurt their Fright Nights event, you know, that much. But obviously this doesn't mean it'll be the end of Fright Nights. Obviously Fright Nights could still will be very, very good. There's so much other spaces around the island they couldn't utilise mazes. But with Old Town being, like I said, the hub for Fright Nights for quite a long time, it would feel very, very out of place. But obviously that is a very, very minor con in the grand scheme of things, plainly because obviously Fright Night doesn't happen all year. Obviously it doesn't affect the mainstream of the beginning of the season or even the middle of the season really, other than obviously construction updates and stuff. But it is kind of a down mark nonetheless. Okay then, so let's take a look at some of the pros for this actual potential addition to Thorpe Park. Now obviously, the first pro I've kind of already mentioned, I'm not really going to mention it again. Obviously this would be one of the only futuristic dedicated areas we would have in the UK, which would be a big thing in itself. But the other one is actually its potential. When you think about how much space Old Town actually has, obviously, you know, the whole timber type area, where Platform, Q-Line was, you know, this year or last year should I say, you know, it's quite a big area, and obviously with Black Mirror, I think they're kind of testing the water now, seeing how people would react to a futuristic style kind of attraction within that area, and then potentially over time they could expand. Now obviously, you know, this would come over quite a bit of time. Obviously Black Mirror, you know, I reckon it will be very, very good, and obviously, you know, Old Town is actually really, really dead during the season anyway, but obviously before Fright Night, so having a brand new attraction there this year will naturally flow more people into that kind of general area, but whether or not that actually carries on over the next couple of years obviously will be a debate to look at obviously as over time, but you know, if this does very, very well, it would kind of open them up to kind of expanding this futuristic area a lot further. Now obviously the second, you know, pro is obviously quite an obvious one, and that is a potential coaster idea. Now obviously, you know, there's been lots of different theories flying around what could the new coaster be. Obviously, a lot of people have been saying RMCs, GCIs. Me personally, I'd love an intermittent blitz at the park. I think a multi-launch coaster would be absolutely mental. But obviously, that is something that, you know, it will be Thorpe's decision at the end of the day. And they will decide what's best and what will work well for the area. However, a futuristic coaster would work very, very well in a futuristic area. I think that would really, really draw in the crowds. You know, futuristic coasters generally do go quite well, because it's kind of a theme that quite a few people actually really enjoy. But yeah, that would obviously be the biggest pro for this, but that would be absolutely years and years down the line, because I don't really think they're going to be building upon Logger Spot for a lot of time now. Okay, so moving away from the kind of futuristic style retheme here, I actually kind of want to think about Old Town potentially being upgraded and expanding. Now, there's been lots of people that have commented on my videos and I've seen elsewhere that generally think that the Buckwheats will be a huge part of Old Town within its future. Now, obviously, if you don't know who the Buckwheats are, last year's Fright Nights, obviously, we saw introduced Creek Freak Massacre, which was absolutely mental, which it was one of the best mazes that I've ever done in my entire life, and a lot of people would obviously agree with me. However, you know, it's such a unique and interesting theme that could we see this actually kind of spread? Now, people have actually been saying that potentially this year's Fright Nights, or if, you know, this year's Fright Nights actually happens, could we potentially have, you know, a Buckwheats area specifically for Old Town, kind of having roaming actors, so with the Buckwheats around to kind of upgrade that atmosphere of Old Town, because Old Town has a very, very cool atmosphere last Fright Nights. It was kind of the place to be, like I said, as most years it is, but obviously Creek Freak Massacre really brought that kind of excitement to the area, and I think expanding that into kind of like an active scare zone could be very, very cool. But thinking more ahead, thinking more generally with this, potentially, I did actually mention this in a lot of my other videos, could we see Saw potentially at some point, not necessarily soon, have a retheme to the Buckwheats? Now obviously Saw I'm not going to get into it in this video. I've made a whole other video talking about it, but there's been loads of theories about the IP potentially running out, and there's been different concerns surrounding Saw and its IP. Obviously, Saw is a beloved thing at Thorpe Park, and I really do hope that it doesn't go for quite a while now. A potential direction Thorpe Park could actually go with it if it is to leave is to actually theme Saw to the Buckwheats or to Creek Freak Massacre. Now, obviously, everything is there to set this up. The traps could all be, you know, used as lumber equipment. The rotating saw blades, well, lumber equipment again, it's very, very common. And the abandoned warehouse probably would only need a few repaints and maybe changes. It could be the storyline of the Buckwheats upgrading to this brand new sawmill and a brand new way to kill people and murder them, much like they did in their olden days in, obviously, Old Town. Now, this would be very, very cool, expanding this a little bit. I feel like it would freshen up Saw, but like I said, I do not want Saw to go for a long while, and I really, really, really hope it doesn't, because I think it is an amazing attraction, and yeah, I feel like if they were to do it, this would be the direction to go, as I think a lot of fans will be pleased with it, and I think it's a very easy thing to do and kind of turn the attraction into. Okay then, so that will be it for today's video, guys. I hope you did really enjoy it. Like I said, we're trying to get 700 subscribers by the end of next week, I think it is. I don't know when the end of April is, but the end of April, I'm aiming to get 700 subs. We're on 655, which isn't too bad. We've still got time. So if you guys want to contribute to that and you really want to help me out, it'd be much appreciated. Obviously, I make weekly videos all about the Merlin Parks. Obviously, Monday, Wednesday and Friday are generally the main times I upload. But yeah, like I said, enjoy yourselves, you know, enjoy your evening, and I'll see you guys in the next one.